Oke, satu, dua, tiga. Alright, hello, welcome everyone. Welcome back to another Javasim Burger Race, the new seasons. Now we are at ASSETTO Corsa. It's a new, exciting race because we are going to use a whole brand new car. We are using for the first time in our weekly race, and I think like many of the drivers here also using this car for the very first time. As you can see, like many drivers are still struggling with the car. All right. So yeah, it has been quite a busy week for us at Javasim because we just had our first weekly specials, and some of you already have seen already even participate on that weekly special. And today is a new season. We are using ASSETTO Corsa, and yeah, as you can see here, there's many drivers that are joining this one big race using Caterham Academy. So this is a very fun car. As you can see, this is the car that's being used by Caterham for facilitate the novice practice the real motorsport championship. So it's going to be a very fun experience for many drivers here because we're actually simulating what the Caterham offer to their community and to their customer, how you can actually practice the craftsmanship, the restaurant of using the car that is being built by Caterham to specifically is being used to practice and to train drivers to be prepared for the real world race. And this car is very unique, guys, because if you can see here, this car is actually not so fast car, and we're actually on the track that is very simple. It's a clockwise track in Brands Hatch, INDY. One of the track it's maybe very like not that short, but it's less than 1 minute for one lap. So imagine like what kind of fun that the driver here can experience, because even that you're having that much gap with the driver in front of you, there is so much chance for the driver to overtake each other. And right now we are actually still on a free practice, I guess. We are going to have the full qualification in some minutes, I guess. And currently there are 30 drivers joining our race today. Oh no, it's a 29 drivers because one driver is on vivid. He is actually still working on the background, working as the race director as usual. And it's going to be also our very first experience like broadcasting ASSETTO Corsa. A lot of possibility, a lot of potential for sure, because ASSETTO Corsa is one of the driving simulator which is open source for the users, for the customers, for all the enthusiasts, even organizer can actually make a lot of things possible and like push the limit of the platform itself. So come to the drivers. There's not so much thing to talk about the cars because actually you're having the one big race with the Caterham Academy. But for the driver itself, you can see we have a Reyes, which actually still dominating even in this car. Surprisingly, Reyes is actually still very fast in the past few weekly race in ASSETTO CORSA competition in GT3, and currently he is using the Caterham Academy. It's still dominating as the first pole positions in this free practice. So, guys, let me know what you think about the car. Is it your favorite as well? For me myself, Caterham is like one of fun car to drive. Imagine you have that kind of open car and you can feel the environment, not to mention that the car is very agile too as well, and it's also small and also very fun, and there's a lot of power because this car is actually very light. It's very safe for the drivers to like push the car to the limits, especially when this car is specifically being built for practicing, like the start point drivers or novices going to really getting into the motorsport competitions. And most of the driver here actually is able to handle the cars really well. Surprisingly, like most driver actually I can say is already like getting used to driving the GT and touring car, and they are actually now it's like has to handle small car, not so much not so much horsepower, so some a little bit tricky to handle because this car is really light. I personally have tried it myself, and honestly I can say that it's a bit difficult to control because the downshift, the upshift has to be very tricky, especially on how you constantly has to keep up the power of the car. When you like the downshift very early, it can make the car spin. And it's actually very interesting because like most of the drivers out there, they are able to learning how to getting into the motorsport. They're actually starting with car like this, right? And we, like most of the sim racers out there, especially with us too, is very relatable. Most of us like actually tends to starting with very fast car like F1 or maybe Grand Touring. And this car, especially to people who are novice, is a very good starting point. And on how you can actually really craft your racecraft and also how you handle the car, knowing the characteristic of the track, characteristic of the car itself. So when you are getting a chance to drive a faster car, it's so easy for you to just gain control, even like push the car more to the limits. Like one of the drivers says in our chat, he said it's more fun to drive the slow car fast rather than driving a fast car slow. So it's actually really represent how you need to really make use of this car and how you're able to push the car to its limit, because for sure this car has a lot of limitations, but in order to make the most of it, you have to really understand. And when you already push that car on the limit, means you are ready for a faster car. So, as you can see here, guys, a lot of fun's going on. You can see there's so much things happening. You can see his Believe Headset now is trying to over, like, getting a way to do his hot lap, I guess. And it's challenging for sure because with the 30 drivers on the same track, like in the circular track like this, there's the clockwise track with some simple corner but tricky. So you see in the brand hat itself, there is a lot of tricky track corner, especially like in the paddock hill in the first turn. It's a downhill section, there's a lot of speed, and it's so easy for the driver to just lose control and not able to really able to gain traction as much as possible, especially in the downhill section of you can see the fun, of course, there. And I'm pretty sure that the most of the driver are not like making that. I mean, doesn't really put that on the feeling when you're like crashing to each other, because I'm pretty sure like many of the driver here actually still learning how to handle this car. But with all some of drivers actually have a very close gap. It means that on how they are able to really push this car really hard and mastering it to the limit also represent how it's going to be represent in the real race. So I guess currently it's going to be on the qualification, I guess, if I'm not wrong. I'm trying to figure out like what phase is it. I guess now it's the qualifications. All right. Okay, so the servers is so I'm sorry guys, it seems there's some technical issue that happened at our end. We're still figuring out what's currently happening, but many of the drivers are currently disconnected from the server. Stay tuned, stay tuned. We are still figuring this out. Not sure what's happening, but it seems that there is some technical difficulties we are facing currently with the Corsa server. We're having our own server actually, but with all the things that's happening right now, we are still figuring it out. But yeah, stay tuned, guys, and we'll let you know once it's coming back online. And while waiting for the server, actually, it's a little bit flashback on the weekly race that's currently happening so far. So if you're looking at our Instagram account, you can see we just posted some recap of the past weekly races. And just surprisingly, it has been like 16. Oh my god, it has been a while. We are making this weekly race. And that is such a good place for us to be able to accommodate and facilitate all the community members of Javasim to have fun together, to practice the craftsmanship, because sim racing is about ecosystem. Sim racing is about how you're able to interact and socialize with the fellow drivers and also test your skill against your peers. So it means that it's very, very a good opportunity for us to really able to facilitate and also to see and to witness how the enthusiasm of our community and how they are able to having fun, but also trying to be competitive at the same time. And this intro that you guys already see right now is also created by one of our community member and also our staff founder, Gigi. It's actually, you see he's still practicing how to create a good cinematic video, and Gigi himself is also still practicing. So as you can see, so not to mention that in sim racing, even that you're not, maybe not fast, I can say, but I don't want to say that Gigi is not fast. Gigi is a fast actor as well. But there's a lot of potential you can do. You can try to be a race director. You can try to be how to make a good as an editor, and you can also be practicing like me now. I'm actually broadcasting. So Javasim Big Race is some of my first time broadcasting a race actually, and it's kind of fun to have that kind of learning curve, enjoying all the activity related to the sim racing. Also, not to mention there's a lot of other things you can do as the like livery designers and maybe as a lot of things. And with Javasim, you can try to join our community. There's a lot of things going on. One of the most hot channel we currently have is the Man Cave and also the custom builder, and we are not being responsible for any of you that not having such difficulties to sleep because you don't keep thinking about what kind of next upgrade that you want to have in your sim. Okay, so I think we are back online. Finally, guys, we're coming back online now, and I think most of the drivers are ready to get these qualifications. The time has been reset, and all the drivers we have currently it's 20 drivers is joining our server, and I think it's counting, and we are ready to like having fun with this Caterham Academy, and it's going to be very, very fun to see how one will race about just a particular skill of the drivers. It doesn't really not a gap of the performance with the car. As you can see when you're talking about the ASSETTO CORSA competition, like the car discussion is always there when you're comparing the balance of performance of cars. But with one big race, with the slow car is pure skills. It's a pure proof on how your racecraft and craftsmanship on your practice, of course. And the brand sets Indy 2 as well. It's a simple track. It's less than 1 minute, and it's really a test of your concentration because the traffic. Imagine the traffic is going to be happen in this race. Of course, with a lot of car it happen and racing at the same time. It means that there is a lot of traffic is going to happen, not only for the race itself, but also even in the qualifications, on how the strategy of you like keeping a gap in the driver in front of you, so you're able to really push your car hard. And I cannot imagine like how many overlap it possibly can be happen, especially when the driver is speeding and you need to overtake the other car, the slow cars, and there's a lot of blue flags that happen at the same time. Let's see how many drivers survive, not to mention also how the driver needs to survive on handling the car. Because as you can see, when it's a pre-practice, a lot of notifications says that there is a crash with the environment. So the driver just crashed their car to the wall. It's going to be very, very fun because this is the Caterham Academy. The car does not have so much technology on it, I guess, because basically you can get this car for about 27,000 euro, I guess, I don't know what to call that. This is the price of the car. It's like a similar like a regular car, I guess. And with 1,700 Celsius as an engine capacity, it's a pretty much similar like the road car that you currently use, and it's only have fifth of five fifth gear configurations, but it's a manual transmission. So when you're using brake with the manual transmissions, instead you will have to deal with how you need to press your clutch, and even like using edge shifter. It's a whole new experience for many drivers here if you really want to push yourself on the next level in that kind of immersive and realistic. Okay, coming back to the drivers, we have we have 25 drivers currently on the server. Indo X Dev, not really recall, but Andika Ramamala is currently on the second position, following about the Brian Reyes, Hugo Miranto, the Haris, Renel Di Edo, Bilebon Hazer, Arifianto, Wiranata, Distira, familiar names with the Grand Touring car. He has to coming back to the novice, as you can see. So acting as a novice, if you're an alien, this will be very interesting to watch for sure. Because actually, with this track and car, you're willing to really make sure that you can push yourself on the limit and able to really gaining as much control as possible with the car. Because a slow car like this, when you're having a good pace, it's just very difficult to get that pace because it takes time for the car to reach its maximum top speed. So it's like, talking about top speed, it has like 130 something, is more like 180 kilometers per hour. But it will be very difficult, I guess, because when you're on this track like this, to getting that kind of high speed, it may be very tricky. And also, as you can see, that with the short track and how you're able to like getting the most of the speed may be challenging. But with this car like this, who knows, maybe the strikes in the brain will be enough for you to get that kind of high speed, maybe. And yeah, there's not much position changes, but Brian Reyes actually has already dominating in the first place. Now is need to be satisfied to be on number 4. See, there's a lot of drivers that are colliding each other. Hopefully it's not happen on the track. What happened, Renel Di Edo? You just put on the drivers. Surely you're having fun here. And this is be very, very interesting, guys, because when you're actually on the track like this, with a car like the slow car like this, and you're against the peers, it's a real competitions, like on how you are proving yourself that you're that such a driver, really able to adapt yourself. And it's typically format like this with a new car. Of course, that even we don't have any prize, we don't have any things to like such a really great pride. But if you're still a competitive person, it means that you're going to still prove yourself that you're the best. All right, so the qualification is over. So I guess it's now the time for the race. Yes. All right. All right, guys. We are going back. We're back at ASSETTO CORSA Weekly Race 16 with a new season of the Javasim Weekly Race. And we have more than 20 drivers joining our race today. Most of them has already passed the qualification. The order has been set. And most of the driver has already getting used to the car and really know how competitive the other driver has to be. Very, very interesting, and surprisingly, you can see that many drivers are there, like able to really push the car to the limits, and we only have a small gap. And are we on the brake already? Because currently it's still on the bumper. All right, guys. So coming to the grids, we have many drivers already on the position. We have the Ferdi Gary Ramadan at the first positions, followed by Billy Evan Hayes on the seconds, Davas number third, Kresna Putra Kurniawan, Egbol HK is alias, that's your and number 6 Aji Wiranata, number 7 GK Isan from Javasim, Divanda Rizkian, Audi Devanugraha, number 10 is Rizky, Ricky Satria. So that's the drivers of today. We have 19 drivers joining our race today. As you can see, it's a very colorful race thanks to the GS All Green. Alright, drivers getting ready to race, guys. As you can see here, the many drivers are going into the first corner. Ferdi Gedi Ramadan is leading with the red car, followed by William Hazer on the second. Oh, it's Andika Ramon actually, sorry. Okay, coming to the third corner on the Indy, and a lot of drivers has been crashing with other on the. But oh my God, William Hazer has to flip there, has to spoon. Unfortunately, William Hazer has to go back, and Krishna Putra right now is still trying to getting back in the top positions. He has been surviving here. Krishna Putra and Ricky Satya on the midfield. He's also one driver that is surviving early, so even involving on the crash in the beginning. But it's very, very fun to see like all the driver is actually using the same car. They're trying to be the best and not crashing actually, but it's not that still things happening on the beginnings. Not that smooth as you mentioned, and Golden drivers going to the pit and one trying to stop on the race. As you can see, it's very dangerous situations. And as Pramanta is now going to the first corner, is number 9. There's some two whites here going to the first downhill section of the race. It's very dangerous. And you can see Pramanta is able to gain us very good control of the car. Okay, now it's going to the good. Now I see there's a bumper. Okay. There's something happened. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so not sure what's happening, but it's bumper right now. Alright, so yeah, okay, going back to the track, William Hazer is now on the 4th position. Now he's trying to chasing his teammate Wiranto. He's in the same color. It's a Javasim green. Oh, it's a slightly different. It's a Tosca and green. William Hazer chasing Wiranto. But the travelers are able to react really good in handling a slow car. I mean, not so fast car. Wiranto is a driver from Javasim starting from go-kart, so I guess on how he's gaining, able to really handling the control of his car is maybe slightly improvement on how he's handling the go-kart. Not sure it's related, but as you can see here, Wiranto is slightly better in terms of gap with Hazer. And going to the 6th position, it's AQ, now he's chasing Krishna Putra, also a driver from Javasim. Krishna is still maintaining his position. And as you can see here, it's a 0.4 gap with the Krishna Putra. In AHK, not sure who is it, because actually in ASSETTO CORSA, if you're still able to only grabbing the map from the Steam, but in the future you'll make sure that they are using your own name. So it's AK going to the first downhill sections. It's the padded hill, I guess. Yeah. So ESU is following by Krishna Putra. Is going to the higher pin, I guess. It's now chasing Krishna Putra, and it's very difficult actually to really push the car. And as you can see, there's not much slipstream that you can actually expecting with a car like this. Irfan Arifianto, I guess, is Arifia. It's not a good name. I guess there is some character missing from the name, but he is actually also on the 12th position. So Irfan is one of the fast drivers in Grand Touring, but he is now struggling, I guess, with his car. He can have a Academy, trying to adapt himself in the car that don't have so much aero, not at all maybe, and also 5-gear configuration, not so much accelerations. And Dewa Nugraha now is the 18th straight trying to chasing already Edo, which surprisingly not to have such a good performance here. And most of the drivers on here is actually actually some drivers are going into pit, and some of them already overtakes and having such a slow against a slow car. But many things can possibly happen with a short track like this, because actually when it comes to short track like this, a lot of things that possibly happen, especially when even you are very fast, you're having to deal with a lot of slow cars that need to pass. As you can see here, Irfan Arifianto have two white drivers in front of him, side by side. Now he's chasing Dava Haris. Irfan is now, one is on the side. It's a two white here, guys. As he's on the straight, they are actually side by side. And yes, on the first corner, I guess now it's very, very good. Yeah, Irfan Arifianto has to give up the position to Irfan Arifianto just to make it safe, I guess, because it's just starting. And only 10 minutes remaining for the race. And Wiranto currently also battling with the William Hazer. William is able to Wiranto is able to overtake again. Oh, surprisingly, William Hazer actually very good performance now. He's able to overtake it. It's just pulling from the behind. It's a very fun experience, I guess. I cannot imagine what's happened in the radio drum, because actually Google and the William is actually on the same team. So imagine what actually are talking right now. You're side by side on the first corner. It's on how the German need to really brave on. Yes! Oh, William Hazer just hold on a little bit, but now it's switching back position almost, guys. Coming to the first hairpin after the Donald. Now it's William Hazer is able to really gaining up control more and going deep on the inside. Wiranto is now trying to still chasing William Hazer from behind. Surprisingly, both drivers is able to really maintain the car control very well. And just on the shoulder, right? Like when you are on your peers, and William Hazer actually the teammate and also acting as the rival on the team. Yeah, Dylan Miranto is still trying to chase him with no, there's a slow car in front of them actually. As you can see, it's going to be very challenging for them to really overtake this car. Now going to the straight again, going to the paddock hill, which is a very good opportunity spot for them to yes. And William and Hazer, Gundrando is still shadowing from the behind. It's very fun to see how both drivers actually the similar level but different background are actually racing each other, and how you can really show to your peers, to your rival, to your teammate that they actually side by side there. William and Hazer has to deal with another cars. I guess oh my god, Gundrando has to really careful here, and side by side. Williams has to be pushed also the track. Now he's a side by side with Gubiranto. Oh my god, something happened actually here, guys. And it's a very difficult situation for Poland to deal with the slow cars there, because it's surely an obstacle on how one of the driver has to deal now with the two cars in front of them. Surprisingly, it's a very fun experience. You can expect from here now. Oh my god, Krishna Putra actually, guys. Krishna Putra has to come up on the fourth, and William has to deal with that. William has now in the fifth position. Nils now is still trying to getting back, but Krishna Putra actually also want to prove that himself is also fast on this particular car. As you can see, Krishna Putra is also very good. He is also the master class in the HRSC. So you can see in the term of not a race car, I mean like car like this, Krishna Putra is able to prove that himself has more experience and have more handling and racecraft to handling this kind of car. So Krishna Putra is now chasing Gubiranto from behind. William and Hazer is still shadowing also from behind. So it's a three driver from Javasim here right now. It's battling each other. As you can see, how fun is it, guys? On how you can see, and at the top of the Krishna Putra is able to passing Gubiranto and William and Hazer. Very fun experience, guys. Krishna Putra now is moved side by side now. It's still to maintaining his position, and William and Hazer is also shadowing from behind. And also need to hold the Gubiranto from behind. It's just zero gap. Who, Mr. Edith? Yeah, so the black car is actually holding all the drivers here. As you can see, it's not intentional, I guess, but this is kind of situation they need to face, or maybe it's also difficult to use for the drivers to really passing now. And you can see Krishna Putra is going to almost three wide here on the first corner. Very tricky situation. Of course, it's so nothing else can possibly happen, especially with a track like this. As you can see, there's almost 4 wide here, guys. Krishna Putra is now able to maintain control very well. Well, Gubiranto was, oh my god, Krishna Putra is like have contact with the 11. Oh my god, almost. Spoon. Unfortunately, Gubiranto has to spoon and going back to the 7. And yeah, the competition is still there between Krishna Putra and William and Hazer. Surprisingly, it's happened on the same team, guys. On the same team, Javasim drivers are so furious on proving themselves to be the best on this novice car, especially on how it's also showing that the driver's craftsmanship is very important, and how you were able to really mastering the car very well in handling the most of the situations. And the situation we just faced is the most difficult, guys. As you can see, the slogan side by side William and Hazer and Krishna Putra right now on the first corner. Also the most challenging part of the track. Also, William and Hazer is like pushing Krishna Putra to the outside. Now it's William and Hazer just going from the inside. Krishna Putra has to really getting as much carry on speed as possible. Now maybe he is expecting to have that kind of slew sprint. But in this track like this side by side, Krishna Putra is coming from the inside. William is just not giving that opportunity, just giving that chance for him to take it over. William and Hazer holding Krishna Putra as best as he could. Well, Krishna Putra is shadowing and trying to get as much the best racing as possible, so he can carry on speed and trying to pass William and Hazer. Also at the same time, Krishna Putra also trying to waiting William and Hazer to making such a mistake. So it's the only opportunity, especially with a slow car like this, on how you just waiting your driver in front of you actually having that kind of mistake that maybe also affecting a lot, especially with a track like this. It's a downhill section. Believe now is passing by Krishna Putra from the inside. Krishna Putra is now taking out the switching back position. Believe is maintaining the inner side of the track, but in front of him there's a slow car, so it's going to be another challenge for them to actually able to holding the car but also passing in the same time. This is the fun, guys. This is the fun of the brand hatch Indy with a car like this. So as you can see, there's a lot of similar car. There's a lot of battle, a lot of slow pace. There's a lot of overtaking. There's a dynamic that they expect from the track like brand hatch Indy. Krishna Putra is still now battling Devon Hazer, and you can see there's two cars in front of him. When Andika Ramamohan and Indra step as they like walking outside. Okay, guys, there's two cars then side by side on the downhill section. William Heston going from the inside. He has the better landing position, but now Krishna Putra also maybe has some strategy on there on the hairpin. Ooh, just pointing from the behind. As you can see, the slow car hairpin. Oh, Krishna is right there. Almost slip, guys. Oh my god, a small mistake that's happened to William Hazer now. William Hazer is just trying to get control as much as possible, but maybe the car situation and the car behavior also different. William just going outside very wide there, going off the track. It's out of the limit, but still he able to getting control and going back safely to the track. Krishna Putra is just maybe saying, oh my god, this is a real battle that happening right now, guys. It's very difficult to passing William Hazer for sure, but Krishna Putra right now is able to, yeah, so actually it already has a gap there actually. Okay, it's very kind of difficult because oh, Andika Rama is he actually also battling right now. Oh my god, yes, two red car, Andika Rama and Indo X-Step. Maybe it's Dava, right? Maybe it's Dava. Yeah, so both of them also battling for the first position. Very, very fun. So going to the last two corner before the strike and going to the paddock hills. So expecting that there will be some overtaking here because actually Dava is very, very close now to the X-Dev. So Andika Rama Maulana is leading now, but X-Dev is just shadowing from behind. As you can see, on the first is maybe it's too wide now, but no, actually it's the Dava is maybe having some strategy. It's going back from the inside, as you can see, guys. Now it's going to the hairpin. There's a slow car in front of him. Andika Rama Maulana, of course, one of the early drivers in Indonesia, to deal with a novice car like this, but still able to maintain the car controls very, very well. Well, Dava also one of the early drivers is trying to passing the Rama with the same car, same level. It's the pure skill, pure opportunity on how you're able to prove yourself to be better with your peers. Not to mention maybe most of them are also trying really hard, even if it's just a fun race, but it's very fun to see. It's only less than 1 minute remaining for the race, and Andika Ramamoulana is now still leading the race. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I think it's going to be a checker flag, guys. So yeah, Andika Ramamoulana, not sure he's already finished or not, but he is still actually battling and building. Okay, now it's final lap. Andika Ramamoulana, he is now still leading the position where Dava is still shadowing from behind. William Hazer and Krishna Putra actually on the 3 and 4th position. Fabian and Gugu Miranto fell on the 5th and 6th. So still dynamic that's currently happening, guys, here. William Hazer, but Andika Ramamoulana, actually he is still having battle with Dava. Fabian now is, yeah, it's the, oh, what's happening? There's such a traffic there. Well, Gugun Miranto is still blasting. Okay, Balaguna. Okay, we have some Java on Philippine too as well. Alright, guys, so let's go back to the top positions. And as you can see, Andika Ramamoulana is maybe on the last lap here. On the checker flag is already. Andika Ramamoulana is finishing up, I guess, now on the first position, followed by the Dava. He's already on the pit, and William Hazer, Krishna Putra, Fabian, Gugun Miranto, Etski, Lulung Nuraga, Rizkian, Reyes. Okay, so I think most of the driver is already on the pit. Wow, surprising! It's a very, very fun experience, guys, to see all the driver here has the same track, same car. It's very fun. As you can see, there's a chat that's happening right now on the between all the drivers. And yeah, okay, so fun. It's surely most of the driver has fun. So that's all, guys. And I think this is the short race on the weekly race with the Caterham Academy. And you can see that some of them have had fun. And thank you for Java who actually joining our race today. I'm not sure whether we are going to continue or maybe we have to stop the streaming right here. But as you can see, some of Java are demanding to have more race because actually it's a very fun experience. I will confirm with the race director and we'll be back to you soon, guys. So stay tuned. Okay. Alright, guys. So actually, this is the end of the race. Thank you so much, guys, for watching our weekly race. And just join our Discord channel and just stay tuned for the upcoming race in our weekly race in the next week. So thank you for watching the Gold Driver and congratulations for all the finish and podium. Hopefully you guys have fun and thank you again for Mr. Reed and all the community members who are helping our